It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show. We come to you each and every day right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Today will be no exception to the rule. Want to remind you guys that you can follow us on our social media handles for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at the Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and our 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. And without any further delay, we'll jump right into today's episode. I am excited to have on the line with us on today, going into what we're hoping to be the third year of operation as head football coach of the Prairie A&M University Panther. That is none other than Coach Eric Dooley. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing well. Good morning to you all.
Good morning, sir, and thank you for making yourself available. Although the virus has been alive and thriving, I pray that you and your family are out of harm's way and everything is going okay at the home front.
Yes, all is well with my family and loved ones and friends.
Yes, sir. Now, I do understand you being a Louisiana native, and we know that Louisiana has been hit extremely hard. How are your friends back in your native land?
Well, speaking to my dad and my family, my brothers and sisters, everyone is doing pretty good right now. Just staying safe and trying to stay out of harm's way. But, unfortunately, a couple of guys that I did have opportunity to go to school with, they did pass from this virus. So I'm praying for their families and their loved ones as well. So I know it's a tough time, but just as I always say, this too will pass.
Absolutely, absolutely. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, your friends, and your loved ones that have come to a demise of this deadly virus. With that, on the flip side of things, as odd as it may seem, life still moves forward, huh, Coach, when the world of athletics and the rest of the world that can't operate?
Yes, absolutely. I know it's a trying time for all the sports addicts out here because they want to see some sports, and right now it's just our nation is devastated right now. So it's tough, and we do understand that.
Okay, with all that being said, it hasn't stopped the mad scientists in the form of Coach Dooley to add to the fold. You have a couple of new coaches that you have. Why don't you tell us about them as we'll continue to move forward?
Yeah, I'm very excited. We know we had some boys to fill for us on my staff, so I was able to go and get Coach Damian Nivens, come with a wealth of experience, knowledge of the game, played in the same conference, had opportunity to play on the next level in the NFL for a couple of years, and came back and started coaching and had some exciting times with him. I'm excited about bringing him on and what he's going to bring to the table for our young men to get them to move forward. Then also I was able to go and get one of our own right here from Houston, Vance Singletary. He comes with a wealth of knowledge as well, has coached on all levels thus far and been in this business for a while. And so I'm extremely pleased to have these guys, just not what they're going to be able to do on the football field, but just as an individual, just a person that's going to make sure that our student athletes are doing the right things, and I always call it living right.
Yes, sir. Living right on and off the field is essential to be successful, because one day, sooner or later, your playing days will be over with, and you're still going to have to be a productive individual in society. And hopefully through athletics and the mentoring that comes with it, we can help mold the mind, in your case, young men, but young men and women in the world of student athletics.
Absolutely. We always like to tell those guys, you're going to be a former athlete longer than you would be an athlete. So the mindset is that we got to make sure that we put ourselves in place to be successful regardless of what, that we understand that playing this sport that we all love gave us an opportunity, but now let's seize the moment and make sure we get everything out of it that it has to offer to us. And that's by getting our education and be able to go out into this world and be successful.
We're talking right now with Coach Eric Dooley of the Prairie A&M University Panthers here at the Mike Prince Show on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Now, Coach, it has been an even playing field on how Corona has stricken everyone, especially right in the midst of spring football. In fact, We had high hopes of March 28th, then April 4th, but now with the latest coming from Governor Abbott, it is a devastating blow. How much does that impact the moving forward for your said program?
Well, you have to have a plan in place, because you never know what's going to happen, and that's why we always say, if you stay ready, you never have to get ready. So everything that's moving forward, the things that we're doing right now with our team, making sure that these guys are doing their online classes, having study hall with these guys via Zoom. So we're taking advantage of the things that's been given to us, and the way that we can use it. You talking about with this network, with the new millennium that's taking place right now, man, it's almost like you're right there with them, but it's just not face to face. So we're very much engaged, and my biggest concern has always been just to make sure the student athlete's mindset is okay. Now, I'm not talking about football wise. I'm talking about being back home and knowing that this devastating time, this horrific moment that's taking place, that them and their families their well-being is good. So, it's a lot of things that we're doing. I've called and I've spoken to every last one of my players just to make sure that they're okay and their family is fine. And then also I had an opportunity to meet with them through their study hall group, because I chime into the different groups. We got some strategies that we're trying to put in place to make sure that these guys feel as close to normalcy as they possibly can.
Yes, sir. And I know that's a tricky step, especially with what we're dealing with. And I would think, as a coach, in this case football, but any other sports, conditioning is always key. And what are some of the tips that you're sharing with your players, if any at all, on some things they can do for isolation training? It's not anything like that overall team effort, but how are you, or is there even a concern for how you guys are conditioned in such a time as this?
Yes, it is. The good thing about it, I feel that now at this time, going into my third year, I have an experienced group, and they know what to expect. They know what we're looking for. And I have a great strength and conditioning coach that, immediately when this took place, he sent something out to all those guys I'm talking about. So those guys was reaching out to make sure that they had something in plan as well. So my strength coach had an opportunity to give them a workout that they can do at home and be safe, because we know we have to have the distance between one another. So those guys are performing those things the best of their knowledge to stay as close to tip-top shape as they possibly can. So we moving forward, and we understand what is at stake right now. So my biggest concern is to make sure that their health is great.
Now, Coach, you just made a point about 3 years into your head coaching job. I got two questions. The first question is, are you on the course that you would project it yourself to be going into year number 3 with your program?
Going into year number 3, I feel real good about where we are right now, but the course I thought didn't get off the way that I want to. I'll just be honest with you, not being cocky, just confidence. I expected to come in and win right away. And when I say win the championship. That's what I believe in. That's my mindset. So I didn't get quite to where I wanted to do the first year, but I had a little success the second year by having a winning season. But this is not quite what we're looking for. So I feel that all of the pieces are in place right now for us to definitely make a run at what we are seeking to have, which is a championship.
Now, Coach, going into year number 3, what is it that you have learned in year number 3 that you bring to the season that you wish you had known in year number 1?
Well, I think, just being a skill guy myself, I brought in a lot of skill guys. Had some guys that I call in the trenches, but I think I just decided within year 2 to build inside out, to get the trenches going, because I know being within this conference, if you have some good offense and defensive linemen, you can really do some great things within this conference. So we just decided to look back and critique everything that we have done, and just to be more detailed. I'm a detailed person as it is. I look at every and anything, but I think the thing that I learned right now that, and I knew going into it, but the big guys is just as important as anyone on the team. if not the most important piece of your team.
And I'm pretty sure that every big guy connected to the program and outside the program just lifted up a turkey leg in your honor and saying, "Here, here, coach. Thank you for the acknowledgement." Because, and I know you're an offensive-minded guy, and I'm an old defensive-minded guy. And we know offense sell tickets, and the old adage says that defense win championships. But without those big guys blocking and protecting for you fancy skill position players, man, you can't get much done, Coach.
Absolutely, you can't do anything. It starts with those guys, and it's so unfortunate that they don't get the accolades that they should get because their names are not going to be in the paper from scoring these touchdowns. But it's someone that helped them get to the touchdown. Their names are not going to be in the paper from stopping the touchdowns. You know, it's so difficult, but you know, I give them praises every time we go into meetings because I know how important they are and I know how hard they work. But we got some good young men coming back. I feel real excited about. We were able to bring some guys aboard that, no doubt in my mind, is going to strengthen our defense. So I'm excited about it. It's just we got to wait through this to get through this time right now.
Absolutely. We're speaking right now with Coach Eric Dooley of the Prairie A&M University Panthers. We're talking football, and in the hopes that football will be on course to be on time come for the 2020 fall campaign. Now, with the latest news that's going out, Coach, and I know it's shaky ground right now as if the season would start on time, and what some of the experts are saying that there's a remote chance that college could possibly, be delayed, if not even completed, and there's more possibility of NFL play. Do you have any type of contingency plan in place in the event there is no football for 2020?
Oh, we're going to continue to move forward. You know, my first and foremost, I'm all about the academics. So I'm going to push the academics regardless of what, because I think that's giving you an opportunity to still be successful. We're going to keep the guys intact of doing the things that we do on a daily basis, just as, you know, just the higher authorities allow us to do so. The thing about moving forward with that, I tell you what, though, and I hate to come in this way, but I have to. I'm a man of faith. I just believe it's going to happen. You know, it's going to be God's will, whatever takes place, and I'm just going to be obedient and move forward within it.
Well, why would you apologize for that statement?
No, I just don't want this. I don't want to come across, but that's who I am, so it's going to come out of me at some point.
Well, the old saying, what's in a person is going to come out sooner or later. And we have to understand and realize that you can't help who you are. You just have to deal with who you are, and everybody else adjusts accordingly. So I wouldn't hold that to the fire because a lot of people, when you doing what you're supposed to do, and if you do it anywhere effectively, you're going to rub some people the wrong way, regardless if you're a coach, if you're a radio guy, if you're a non-believer, if you're a believer. So you don't have to apologize. At least on this network, you don't have to apologize for that. So as they say, we moved on because with faith without works is dead and work without faith is dead. So they go hand in hand. So don't ever feel like you have to apologize about that here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so once again, we're talking with Coach Eric Dooley of the Prairie A&M University Panthers. Now, Coach, we know that part of that Achilles heel, if you would, for the complete program would be if we had to flip a side of a coin on this three-sided coin, I would say. Offense has been on point since she stepped on to the surface at Prairie View. Defense has been teeter-totter, and I would guess for lack of a better word, the special teams would be what I would call suspect. What and how are we addressing those areas as far as improving with the overall program?
Well, I attacked it immediately. You know, I see it as well. I know some of the things we need to work on. I like to say, I don't wait to make a adjustment at the end of the season. I make adjustments during the season, so I knew what was, like you said, Achilles heel, things that was hindering us from being where we wanted to be at. So immediately I went out and I signed some defensive guys that I know can come in and help right away. If you notice, I signed maybe 9 defensive guys with able to get a good group of young guys from right there in this area that I think going to make an immediate impact on our football team. And then not only that, I met with the defensive staff and making sure that the detailed things is what we're looking for, what affect us in this conference to find out what can we do to get better. And then I think more than anything, I was able to bring in a young man that I think is going to be excellent toward our defensive staff for helping out as a defensive ends coach and just the knowledge of the game and just the experience that he has. And then he's going to also help with the special teams that's going to bring that discipline side, that side that's going to, I guess, for lack of better word, they're going to go down and just be dogs. They're going to understand just how important special team is, which the previous coach did an excellent job with what he had. So I look to take it to the next level to complement the offense as well as, all three phases. But let's not downplay this here. I don't think the offense is where it needs to be at just yet. We've done some great things, but just some things that we got to be able to do to take control of the whole situation.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying the best is yet to come.
You can hear me correctly. Absolutely.
That's all right. We're talking with Coach Eric Dooley of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers here at the Mike Prince Show on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Coach, you just alluded a moment ago about the discipline area. With everything that is going on, the team itself had enough firepower, I would think, and you probably would think this too, going back looking at film and breaking down everything in more detail. How much would you say discipline played a role to some of those close games between winning and losing for the past season?
Well, when you talk about leading the conference in penalties, that's the very first thing that sticks out. You would say, well, the team is not disciplined. We use penalties as saying not disciplined. And I'm a person just believe what I see is what I see, and I go from that. I don't think that we were undisciplined. I just think at that time we didn't learn how to win. We won some games, but we haven't learned how to win the close games. And I think we took steps in the right direction, and I critique everything. We lost to Alcorn in a close game, which was a team that's been in the SWAC championship for the last 6, 7, 8 years. We lost to Southern University, who was in the SWAC championship the last 3 years in a close game. We lost to Jackson State in overtime. Could have gone any kind of way. So at that point right there, we can win, but we didn't know how to win when it came down to a tough situation. And I take it all the way down to the last game of the season. We played Alabama State. Alabama State was still in the mix of it because they were like number 2 on each side. But we had a close game, and I thought we crossed that hurdle right then and there. That was something I was looking for to see if my team was prepared to understand just what it takes to win a close game. Now, we wasn't hitting on all cylinders, that I would say, but they understood how to fight for 60 minutes. So that was real encouraging, that last game, and then to fight for a winning season. So it brought a lot of excitement to me to understand that they crossed that bridge now. Now we got to keep them on this side, and we just got to move forward to be up with the teams that's been representing this conference for the last couple of years. Okay,
so when you say that the discipline area is kind of looked at from a coach's perspective to the fans' perspective, can you give me a little bit, more insight on that, for not only for me but for those who are listening?
Well, you see, guys, we had some penalties, and I'm not one to talk about whether they was right or wrong, but we had some penalties. I'll put it in a better perspective. But, we do so much to individuals when things take place. Of course, there are repercussions when you're doing things of that nature that hurting us. So we do understand that part. But when you look at it from a fan perspective, and we having a lot of penalties, the very first thing one may say they're not disciplined. No, they're not disciplined to that aspect, but they are. Certain things you can call every player. I can call holding on every play if I wanted to. If I look and broke down the season, I can call holding on every play. We're an RPO team. We does a lot of RPO. So I can look and see where, you know what, this crew here called him being 4 yards downfield. Or this, it's just little ticky-tack things that, trust me, it stays on your mind because you want that team to understand the importance of not jumping offside, not holding, not traveling further than what you're supposed to do. So that's why I'm very hard on them right there when it comes down to that in practice. So, I mean, there's some things we need to work on. Do we need to work on discipline? Absolutely. That's not a question of mine right there because I've always been a disciplinarian. So coming back from the school days of teaching. So that's not going to be an issue. That's guaranteed. Those are some things the fans can look forward to. In their words, we're going to be a more disciplined team. We're going to be a better team. We're going to be a physical team.
Yes, sir. Now, I think that from a fan's perspective, there's forgiveness when you have an offsides. That's going to happen every now and then. A hold, that's to be expected because, like you say, you can call a holding penalty on any given play out of the 180 plays that are run throughout the course of a game. But I think more of the personal foul avenue, swinging at a player, stepping on a player, or something that would lack self-control. I think that was more of the concern of the discipline part. And sometimes it could be at a critical time. You may have just got your defense. They've been struggling. It was 3rd and 11, and then you get a guy to swing on a guy, and they give him 15-yard penalty. Now they got a new set of downs, and it wears and tears even further on the defense, which limits the lethal offense from getting out and closing out some games. I think that's more what the fan perspective is looking from. I think, like I said, holdings and offsides, that's part of it. But I think the personal fouls is what was more of a concern.
Absolutely. I think that's asinine. When I go and look at that film on that Saturday night, because sometimes I don't let it get to Sunday. When I go and watch that film that Saturday night or Sunday, what have you, my thing is when I see that type of thing, that person is disciplined immediately. And when I say that, we're talking about, I understand it didn't happen through the conference or whatever, but if I see something of that nature, that doesn't identify who I am, they're probably going to be suspended for a couple of games. Because I know it could hurt the team because it could be a player, but in the long run, I'm going to help that player to understand that you got to understand the things that you can and cannot do. I mean, it's impossible to get that upset. I come from old school football. If someone did you something, you just got to take that jersey number and get them the next play within the confines of the rule.
Absolutely. And you would get another here from me on that one because that's how you do it. When you pounding that guy, and they might get a cheap shot, and if anybody's ever played this game, it's a physical game. It's some dirty things that go on, especially in the trenches. And you gotta have that self-control and say, okay, I'll get you the next time, and then point up at the scoreboard when they eating your dust.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
That's old school. That's old school right there. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. We're talking again with Coach Eric Dooley of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Looking forward to the 2020 campaign. Coach, you just had your signing day, and you've had a pretty good run for the 27 the first year and 25 the next year, and then what was it, 14 this year? How challenging is it that after you get these guys signed to keep them maintained to be eligible so they can make the impact that you brought them to be for the team?
It's very challenging, but we try to go out and recruit guys that, because when you take a look at our institution, I think it's a very fine institution. We value education. So we try to get guys that's already on that level. We're not trying. I know they got the athletes. I believe athletes are scholars as well. So we try to get the guys that already have the grades and understand that education is important to them. So we get those guys in with the good GPAs, the high test scores, and their parents and them as well understand how important it is. But then we just try to make sure we use the resources that we have. I'll say on a daily basis, my coaches want to make sure that their positions are going to study hall, that they're turning in their work that is probably the first line of duty that we ask. You know, a lot of folks may think when they come to us, the very first thing we do is put on some film. Yeah, that's very important. But the thing to me is important. Did you go to class? Were you on time in class? Did you participate in the class? What are the things you got out of class? Those are the things that are important to us because I feel that education for a young man today is priceless.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Coach, you've added the new coaches, and then there's been some coaches that were added prior to this, and the wheel is always circling around, especially in the world of coaching. Would you do me and our listeners a favor and just go down the list of your current coaching staff right now and what each person, brings to the table as far as your staff is concerned?
Yes, absolutely. Talking about on the offensive side of the ball, I have Coach Mark Frederick, who is my running back coach, as well as my recruiting coordinator. He was here last year as well. Then also I have Jonathan Williams, who is my quarterback coach. I have Robert Bailey, who is my wide receiver coach. I have Damian Nivens, who's one of the new coaches. He is my offensive line coach. I have a graduate assistant on this side of the ball, Marcus Bradley. He also works with the tight ends as well. And of course, it's not a secret at all now. And with me being a head coach as well as the offensive coordinator on the offensive side of the ball. When I take it over on the defensive side of the ball, I have Coach Henry Miller, who is my defensive coordinator. I have Coach Todd Millerton, who is my defensive tackles coach. I have Coach Alvin Fosserman, who is my linebackers coach. I have Coach Ryan Burgess, right now is presently as my nickels coach. I have Coach Vance Singletary, who is a new addition to us, who is my defensive ends coach, special team coordinator. And I have, we like to say Bubba, but Leonard McDowell, who is known as Bubba, as my secondary coach.
Who is Leonard? Man, we don't know no Leonard. We don't know no Leonard, Coach.
That's what I know. I want to say it so he can hear. But I also have Lee Allen Clark, who is my defensive GA. But yeah, I from time to time I say Coach Leonard. I won't say Coach Bubba. So just get his attention.
Yeah, well, Leonard, man, we throw that Leonard out there. I don't even think they sign his checks with Leonard. It's Bubba. It's going to always be Bubba.
Wow, so he got that name changed. And also, I can't miss him. Also, I have Nathaniel Leonard, who is my strength and conditioning coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it is always good to acknowledge the guys because it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a unit to help the coach to shine on the day of game day and preparations and everything that leads up to that. Now, Coach, we've had this conversation before, Coach, and our offensive coordinator is all in your DNA. There is no way about it. Now, what was the thing that you had to learn splitting roles as far as being the OC and the HC? What did you have to say, okay, I got to separate this from that, and how have you made that adjustment? I guess now in about a year and a half now since the departing of Ted, right?
Right. I thought the transition was good for me. I thought coming in my first year, just being the head coach gave me an opportunity to do the things that I wanted to do and make an adjustment. But I kind of felt a little lonely because I am used to calling plays as well. But moving into that second year, I made the adjustment because I fixed my time to where I can meet with the defensive coordinator, the special team coordinator. We meet as one to talk about game plans. I get a chance to set my meetings to where I can talk to the whole unit, whole offensive unit. I get a chance to sit into the defensive unit meeting as well. I get a chance to sit into their position meeting. So I find myself with less time now to sit around. I have more time because I'm hands-on. So I'm going to be into every meeting that's taking place because I want to know what's going on. I want to, not that it's not a trust factor. I like to know what's going on, and it helps and it benefits me. So I've been able to spread myself abroad with all the different assignments that I have, and I think it worked out well for me.
Okay, and with that being said, I know you're on record for saying that you want to be basketball on the football field, which means you're going to be high, accelerated, always moving. But in the terminology using basketball as our point of reference, what about sometimes having a half court game? Because when you get the lead and sometimes you get in and out, and it's not aiding the defensive side of things, which is at this point we know need as much help as you could, and by extending that play, a little bit longer time wise, is that part of potentially moving down the road on adjustment during game times?
Oh yeah, we have that a part of it of our game plan. Of course, we do have that type of offense that we can slow it down at any cost. I'll tell you this right here. Just my philosophy. I think to get guys to do what you want them to do, you got to do it often. So right now they understand. They understand, and I call it race horse. They understand the race horse philosophy. Now it's that time where the race horse philosophy understands too that I have the check with me philosophy, where it's not as fast. We dictate to when we want to do it, and I don't like to call milking the clock because every time I touch the football, I feel I want to score. So I don't believe in just milking the clock, but I do understand how to take the clock off, to take the time off the clock. So I think it's within that. We had opportunity to do it, some not as much because we didn't have some of the leads that we wanted to have, but all that is in part of the offensive plan because I don't think you can be a good team if the offense, defense, and special teams don't complement one another.
Right, right, right. That's the totality of team. Everybody carrying in this case of football, their third. I guess if you could break a football team down, I wouldn't say thirds because we always focus on offense, defense, special teams. But if we add the preparation from the coaching point in it, so that would be a quarter. Everybody is worth their 25% and bringing together the complete game day experience as you would want to be on the other side of the victory. And when you look at that, has there been anything that from each category that you say that we need to tighten this part up to make sure that we're carrying our weight to ensure success in the future?
You know what? I like the way you put that. I'm a person that learns every day. I like that to carry your forward. Of course, the coaching staff is a big part of that because you got to have a great game plan and the kids have to believe in it. But I do like that. The thing that I think that we're able to do now is to get more depth. A lot of times it's never going to be said, but within special team, and I believe in playing my top guys on special teams because I think you got to have the top guys out there. But when you get some injuries and they don't get back, that can affect the things that you want to do. So it's just right now, I know we needed to build more depth in a lot of areas. I know that we've done that. So moving forward, there are some good things to be expected.
We're talking again with Coach Eric Dooley of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Of course, I'm Mike Prince with the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Now, Coach, we're going to go to the land of make-believe right now. And with that, I'm saying I've had this visions of gumdrops dancing in my head that we dissolve the East and we dissolve the West and you make it one conference. And I'm picturing a playoff theme set up. You have the top 6 teams in the conference with 1 and 2 having a bye, and 3 would host 6 and 4 would host 5 in a first round of the playoff, and then the second round would be, at the respected 1 and 2s, and whoever the last team standing there, you play a SWAC championship game at whoever the higher seed field is. When you hear that, A, do you like that? And B, what are the chances you think that would ever happen?
Tell you what, let me say this here. I wish that would have happened. My first 2 years would have been in the playoffs. I'll tell you what, and that gave us new light. That's just like having the basketball tournament. You can win the regular season, but then it comes down to that tournament whether you're going to represent in that NCAA. But I tell you what, if that would have taken place, that would have and we were strong in the end. which you got to be strong throughout the whole year. But these, just in the first 2 years, we always won our last 2 to 3 ball games, and that would have been bringing us right into where we needed to be. We finished second on the West Side. I tell you what would have happened. We'd have been in that playoff, and it's all open from right there.
That's right.
I like that format. It could have been the last 2 years. Been great. But unfortunately, I love what Charles is doing, and I think whatever he does is going to be great decisions. But you might want to call him and run it by him. It sounds like a plan.
Well, and now, of course, you would have to fine-tune a couple of things, and it might adjust people as far as guarantee games. But if the Power Five have their way, those guarantee games that we once upon a time knew were going to be gone anyway. So you might as well go back to the drawing board and revamp some things.
Right. Okay. Well, the good thing about it, when we have our games and we have some good matchups, we get the fan base out there. There's no question about that. The HBCU's been leading in attendance for the last 7 to 8 years, if not even longer.
No, 40. The last 42 out of 43 years.
I didn't want to say that because it dates how old I am, so I was just trying to be modest and say 7, 8
how old we are, Coach. Right. But so wow, you put something on my mind, but I'm not gonna fish. I'm gonna just let it stay out there and maybe somebody will catch it. Okay, I understand that. Look, I'll tuck that one in to come back to moment.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But I just think that now is the time. I think we need to really be thinking creatively and outside the box, and just doing things that we have never done before. Because guess what, Coach? When this thing does reconvene, we're going to be doing things that we've never done before.
I agree. I can tell you this here. I'm so confident in the way, and that's not something for me to critique, but just looking from the outside in and being in this conference for such a long time, I am so confident in what Charles is doing with our conference that there's no question that we'll be the top conference in all of FCS.
No
There's
doubt.
No question.
No doubt about it. And it's just I have time to think sometimes. I have my senior moments, if you would, where you'd be like, you know what, this wouldn't be a bad look. At least kick the can down the road to see how things are going. And like I said, just thinking outside the box of what it could be. Now, here's what I'm going to ask you, Coach. And once again, we're in the land of make-believe and fantasy since we got Corona time. When I call out the said institution, I want the first word that comes to mind as far as opponent goes. So I'll start with Grambling State.
History.
Southern University.
Fan base.
Texas Southern.
It's a good one right there. Well, you know what? I'll say this here. When you say Texas Southern, athletes.
Okay. Mississippi Valley.
The best wide receiver quarterback tandem in the history of the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Okay. Trotton and Rice. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a good meal, doesn't it? Trotton and Rice to go, please.
Yes.
Pine Bluff.
I would say dangerous.
Okay. Alcorn.
Well, the reservation have history as well. When you talk about the reservation, it got history because it comes back to Isaac Holt. Back in those days, I almost dated myself, but yeah, I would say history as well.
Okay. Jackson State.
Tradition.
Alabama State.
Talent.
Alabama A&M.
It's like a secret. You know, because the thing is, I played them, but not as much. But the secret, they've been consistent.
Okay, okay. And last but not least, Prairie View A&M University.
Hidden gem.
Hidden gem. Okay, okay, fair enough. And as I say, good answers, good answers, good answers. We're talking again with Coach Eric Dooley of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers here at the Mike Prince Show on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Now, Coach, I've got to ask this question, man, and we come on every day, and I know I get, and I'm not even exaggerating, 20 inquiries a week. What is it going to take for us to have Coach Dooley on the show? And I present that question to you. As I say, as a weekly coaches show. So I present that again to you, sir, and answer the people for me.
I will. Let me tell you something. I'm a person that tries to be available at all costs. So I have no issue with that at all. I guess on last year we tried to do some things on a Monday. It didn't come to fruition, but whatever it may take or whatever. You're a man of God. I'm a man of God. I mean, you know, spiritually we should connect automatically. So I have no problem with it. You and I can sit down and, you know what? What better time is now? Just make it happen.
Amen and hallelujah to that one, brother. You know, some things happen, I believe, for divine intervention, and why not, as I say, take advantage of the opportunity. And so, as I've always let it be known, we have an open door here at the open mic, and I think that we've been consistent enough to show that in season and out of season, and that will never change, sir, because I represent, I try to support everything that's connected to me, and the personal gain that I've had as a man, the personal gain I've had as an athlete connected to Prairie View and the Southwestern Athletic Conference. I feel obligated to make sure that I make myself available to continue to tell our stories, and that will never change, sir. And I need you to know that from man to man, from my mouth to your ears.
I want you to say this. I want you to know this here as well. Just out openly, I don't talk a lot. I'm a quiet person, but I think very approachable. But I do appreciate you because I think, you know, to get the real story, we got to tell our own story. And I appreciate you always representing Prairie View A&M University. I mean, that to me, when I talk to players, when I talk to individuals, that's what pride is. You know, people want to always put a definition and go to the Webster Dictionary and find out what pride is. Sometimes you got to look at individuals to find out what pride is. You got to look at the way they carry themselves, the way they walk, the things that they do. That's what pride is. And just from your passion, when I speak with you, I know that you love Prairie View A&M University. So I have no issue with that. I appreciate you, whether I ever said it or not. But, no, I have no issue. Let's just make it happen.
Amen on that, sir, and hallelujah. Before we get out of here, Coach, the NCAA, they always moving, and they never stop. And a lot of people have been disenfranchised with everything that is going on. It's almost time. I know the attendance has come out, the financial books has come out, and then they're going to be having, I guess, the institutional grading systems. Are we going to be okay when this one comes out?
As far as I know, it's going to be a disadvantage right now to say what's going to take place because, in my opinion, it's all going to have to be a blanket. You know, when you take into consideration individuals just don't have the. My team is we're going to do what we have to do to make sure we put the grades in, but it's just so unfortunate because you know when you look at this whole thing, what if I stay in a remote area where I can't get Wi-Fi, I can't get online to do assignments? What if I don't have a laptop? what if I just only have a cellular device and that's the only way that I can do my assignment? It's just right now. But you know what? I'm not a negative person. Yes, we will.
Okay, very good, very good. Well, Coach, I want to thank you very much, man, for making yourself available on this exclusive interview. I want to give you some closing thoughts and comments at the time, and the floor is now yours, sir.
Yeah, well, I like to take this time to all the listening audience, just to, this is a tough time, but just from the word, this too shall pass. I look at it as a spiritual awakening. It's doing some things that of course is not common in what's going on today, but I just hopefully by coming on the Mike Prince show today, it lifts someone's spirit, and that it is a little light at the end of that tunnel. I know we're going through trying times, but I serve someone that I know that it's going to be okay. So just wanted to lift up some individuals, talk a little sports, just let you know how the team is doing. Because I know you're concerned. I know you're concerned about different things, but just continue to pray, and God bless everyone.
Amen, sir. Thank you. Very well said. And we're going to make sure that the lines stay open, unclogged, that come hell or high water. We're going to trust in God, and we're going to trust the process, and we're going to keep in communication with each other. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
All right, Coach Eric Dooley of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, our special guest on today's show. Want to remind you guys that you can follow us on our social media handles for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network. And, of course, our 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. My time has far been spent. I must exit stage left, and until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.